There's been a few fashion exhibitions coming around. It's like another dimension of bringing fashion to democratised people. And I was just curious to know whether in your own practice you'd ever consider archiving your clothing into something of an exhibition like this.
Yeah, it's an interesting question actually. It's almost like you need to keep one sample that's never touched by anyone, because often our sample collection is also used as press samples and also as production samples. So by the time they've had this 6-month period in a press office where every day they've been tried on by a different model, makeup stains, transportation, they're thrown around and kind of by the time you get them back, you're like, this is not what it was ever meant to look like. So yeah, I think as I said, it's often a problem with my own reflection to my work is that it's hard when you are the designer to look back on something and think, wow, that's great. It's kind of like you're constantly evolving and living in the idea that tomorrow the collection will be great and that you'll get it perfect next time. So yeah, I think I definitely should start creating an archive, but often the last thing you want to look at when you're a designer is your last collection. Anyone else? Yeah.
Hello, hi, just a quick question. Hi. Have you ever delved into film or some way of portraying the motion of your garments and your designs? Because I hear a lot of people talk about that, but how static it is when it's in view. Just
yeah. Yeah, I suppose I have slightly gone into that. Last autumn winter I created a film and a kind of book around my collection. I think in Australia, because you are working with limited resources, especially as a young designer, often you do need the time and the money to work on projects such as that, but it is something that I'm definitely interested in doing. As I said, for autumn winter we created this book and short film and all of this content to kind of heighten that emotional experience of what the clothes were trying to say. But I find that, yeah, that's an autumn-winter thing for Australian designers, I think, to be able to have time to do those projects. For spring-summer collections, obviously, we do runway shows, and yeah, often that is a big element of the runway shows, is really trying to build in the experience and the emotional experience of what you're trying to say with the collection. And it's definitely something that I've kind of attempt to integrate into my runway shows. So there is a relationship between the clothes and the environment in which you show them, and all of those things that really tie everything back together with the original concept. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, that's all right.
Sorry, I'm being greedy.
Sure.
I'm just interested in terms of how you now feel, because you had sort of formal fashion training, how you now sort of reflect on that and how now that you're actually doing it and it's your livelihood and your business and so forth, how important that was to you, or which elements of what you're doing now has that kind of fed into?
Yeah, I think studying is extremely important for fashion design. It's almost like at school you take this time where you're not judged externally for your work, and I think it's great that within fashion design, when you're studying, you can take risks and do things that might lead you to further experience and really help develop your skill base. But generally, I'd never want anyone to see anything I produce from college because, yeah, it's a good testing ground, and it really allows you to explore and develop your own design vocabulary and something that's kind of more specifically yours. And yeah, that's something that can take some designers a long time to do, but I think that's really what is the most important thing about studying. But yeah, I still feel a slight connection to where I did study my fashion school, as we do have work experience people coming through all the time, and it's great to really kind of keep in tune with the energy that you have when you're at fashion college. It's this kind of constant excitement, and And yeah, you really love what you're doing when you're at college because there's no responsibility, and it's really about what it should be about, which is just really inspiring yourself and having fun with it. And I think the longer you have a business, the more you can become a little bit kind of jaded by that, and the business side of fashion can often be very, very stressful, and it is this cyclic system that never really stops or really allows you to take that time out, which you do at design college, to just do things for the sake of doing it. And it's, yeah, very driven by deadlines and price points and retailers and sell-through and all those boring things that you don't even know about when you're at college. So, yeah.